We're live on the podcast again with Joe Redner. Thanks again for coming out here, man.
How you doing, Joe?
Thanks for having me.
I've been wanting to do this interview for a long time. You are. So how did you become such a legend and an icon in the Tampa Bay area? You're very well known around here, and you're very outspoken, and people call you an activist. But how initially did you become so well known in this area?
Well, about 1976, I went to work for a gentleman that had a go-go bar. And I went in as a night shift manager, and that's where the dancers wore pasties and G-strings, and that's what they wore. They didn't strip. They didn't do anything. They came out, danced a couple songs, and then quit. So anyway, I saw a case from the Supreme Court of the United States that said nudity in speech was protected by the First Amendment.
Nudity in speech?
In speech,
In speech, yeah.
In other words, if you're dancing and you have nudity, that's protected by the First Amendment.
Okay.
Because you're speaking. You're saying something.
Okay.
Conduct, how you conduct yourself, how you dress, all that is speech.
Okay.
You're saying something to other people. So then I opened a club that was nude and had alcohol, and it was a beer joint, and I called it was Dorio's, and no, I called it the Night Gallery. It was Dorio's before it was a beer joint, and I called it Night Gallery, and we started the girls dancing nude, and the city started raiding me, and there was hundreds of raids, and eventually, people going to jail and bonding out, and I bonded them out. And finally, we got an injunction that says you can't do that against the city, saying their nude ordinances were unconstitutional. So then they left me alone for a while and started using their lewd and lascivious statutes against me. Well, lewd and lascivious, you have a right to a jury trial, so we had to have those. It just went on and on. I could just go on and on and on, but essentially it's just the government overreaching and invading people's constitutional rights because of something they read in the Bible, and that they cannot justify in a court of law with evidence. Things like a lot of things.
Now, did you know that you were the first person to have a nude strip club in Tampa? Were you aware of that when you did it?
Yeah, I was very much aware of it.
And you didn't think that, did you anticipate any kind of blowback?
Yeah, but if the Constitution says and the Supreme Court says I can do something,
Right.
And I believe it's my fundamental right, even if it doesn't, if I think it's a human right and a fundamental right, if I feel a necessity to do it, I'm going to do it, and then I'll defend myself,
Right.
with my peers. And that's what I've been doing. I've been defending myself in the press, and that's how everybody told me, shut up, shut up, shut up. No, I'm not shutting up. You're coming after me. I'm going to go after you any legal way I can.
Right.
And the legal way is to get to the press, because the press is coming to me and saying, hey, this is what they're doing to you. What do you got to say about it?
Right.
Okay, let me say what I got to say about it.
Right.
So, and
when was all this happening? When was all this taking place?
oh, this was
when it first started.
From 76 to 87 or something like that. Just constant. It was constant.
Wow.
The only respite I had is when a female mayor came in. Every male mayor came after me. That's
Really?
right. Yeah.
But not the female.
No, they didn't have a problem.
That's
with that.
hilarious.
Why do you think that is?
Jane Sandy Freeman, she didn't buy, because I think that women, in order to get elected, have to be really smart.
Right.
Yeah. And
But
she knew the law.
But men don't.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people in office that they're not really smart. I'm not saying they don't get things done and people don't like them, but I'm telling you, they're not really smart.
Right. They don't know all the ins and outs of it.
No, and they're this A male personality. And
Yeah.